Hello, Gene Schwimmer here. Welcome back. I had planned today to talk more about the Palestinian-Israeli issue, or as I call it, a war that the Palestinians will not admit that they lost a long time ago. But as so often happens, something occurs during the day that makes me want to talk about something else. And actually today there were two things. Number one, I want to talk about obstruction of justice. As you know, the collusion delusion turned out to be exactly that, a delusion. So now our Democratic friends have moved on to obstruction of justice, whether to impeach Donald Trump over supposed obstruction of justice, even though the Mueller report did not find anything that they considered indictable, because the issue for indictability rested on intent, just as it did with Hillary Clinton's emails, except in her case, she actually did deliberately conceal her emails. But let's not talk about Hillary Clinton today. Let's talk about Donald Trump. And in fact, let's not even talk about Donald Trump. Let's talk about a judge in Massachusetts who was just indicted by the feds for obstruction of justice. So now if you want to know what obstruction of justice really is, here you have a textbook case, because here you have an actual indictment. So what did this judge do? She had in her courthouse an illegal immigrant that ICE was on its way to arrest. What she did was, when the ICE officer arrived, she and a court officer who is also going to be indicted helped them slip out the back door. That is obstruction of justice. You have a law officer coming to perform his duty, and then you have a judge, not a person, but a judge, actively help this illegal immigrant evade arrest. And this was not just any illegal immigrant. This was a criminal illegal immigrant, or at least allegedly criminal illegal immigrant. Otherwise, what was he doing in the courthouse? He was there because he was accused of a crime. The ICE agents were coming to arrest him, and the judge helped him escape. There you go, obstruction of justice. Topic two, this is the main thing I wanted to talk about today, because this really bothers me. It's come up a couple of times. Joe Biden announced that he's running for president. Big surprise. I mean, who didn't know that? So Joe Biden is running for president. Well, he brought up the usual argument from the Democrats that Donald Trump is a bad guy. He's a racist. Even if they don't come out and say it, that's what they're implying, that he's a racist. So, of course, Joe, right on schedule, brings up Charlottesville and white nationalism, specifically Donald Trump's statement that at Charlottesville, the demonstration for and against the removal of a statue of Robert E. Lee, that there were very fine people on both sides. And he was severely criticized for that, and they were trying to characterize him as a racist. Now, the big issue for me is press bias, because if the press had reported on this honestly, then this issue would never have come up. But I'm just going to go through the people that were at that demonstration and counter-demonstration. There were four groups there. One of them we don't really need to talk about, because that's the one that the press mentions over and over and over, to the exclusion of everybody else, the other three groups that were at that demonstration. So these are, of course, the white nationalists, whom have been mentioned repeatedly, as I said. But there's another group, these guys. This is Antifa, or Antifa, or however you want to pronounce it. Anti-fascists, they call themselves, even though they're obviously fascists themselves by their actions. They were there too, and they were on the opposite side of the white nationalists. The white nationalists wanted the statue to stay. The Antifa group wanted the statue to come down. So before we talk about fine people or good people on both sides, I think we can all agree now that there were bad people on both sides. There were bad people on both sides, unless you think Antifa are good people. And if that's the case, it behooves our Democratic friends to explain why. Tell me what's so good about them, because I see attacking people on the street and beating people. I don't see that as being a good person. Okay? I don't. And I'm sure you don't either. So those are two of the groups that were at that demonstration. Now, if you're a Democrat, I can anticipate your argument. You can say, yeah, but it wasn't just Antifa on the side wanting to take down the statue. There were other just ordinary citizens who honestly had that opinion about that issue. They were not violent. They were just, to use Donald Trump's term, very fine people. That's three groups. What are we saying about now the fourth group that nobody mentions? The people that wanted the statue to stay, who were not white nationalists. Who were they? They were very fine people. They were citizens who wanted to preserve a part of their history, who believed that they should not destroy monuments because of political correctness. So Donald Trump was absolutely correct. There were fine people on both sides, and there were some very bad people on both sides. I will leave you with that thought. That's it for today. I hope to see all of you soon. If you like this video, do the thumbs up, share it with other people, and best of all, your comments are welcome. Oh, and one more thing. If there is something you would like me to comment on, if you have a request, I would love a request. Because, well, number one, then that's one thing fewer that I have to think of to comment on. So I have a future video already made for me. You make my job easier. But more important, I'm very interested in hearing what all of you think. And that's it for today. See you soon, probably Monday. Bye.